blue face pillar, the blade dealer. Make a nigga forfeit, cause I'm the realest. Niggas talking short shit, I need a million.
Big stepper, yeah, bitch I be steppin'. Coolin' kit with the flip switch, bitch that's the weapon. No drama.
Welcome to New York Giants Full Access.
Nice legend, bring them sounds in one time.
I'm Art, and we got you. And that's it, man. Go purchase Big Pat Sports Talk merch and support the family, man. And welcome to Big Pat Sports Talk. Thank you for your support. What's going on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all platforms? Welcome to another episode of New York Giants Full Access with your boy Big Pat Sports Talk. And today's subject, we're going to be talking about Mr. Drew Lock having the potential to be QB1 for the Giants this year. Seems to be a lot of guys on Twitter and a lot of guys in the media that's predicting that Drew Lock is going to beat out Daniel Jones to be QB1 this season for the New York Giants. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. This is these guys' last hope to have Daniel Jones not play quarterback for the New York Giants ever again. After all the predictions that they did, after all the predictions of we're gonna take a quarterback at 3 or number 4 or 5 or 6, we're gonna get Drake May, we're gonna get Michael Penix, we're gonna trade up for Jaden Daniels, we're just gonna get another quarterback, and Daniel Jones will never ever step on a football field ever again, and it turned out to be wrong. So now they're going into plan C. Because first was plan A, that Daniel Jones will never recover from an ACL injury. Like, nobody in the league recovers from ACL injuries. You see dudes come back from ACLs all the time, but it's just, in Daniel Jones' case, it was just the extreme ACL that you could never recover from. Then it was plan B. We're going to take a quarterback high in the draft. Yes, they did try to trade up with the Patriots. That was reported to get Drake May. Fell through. And they didn't take a J.J. McCarthy or a Penix at 6. They took Malik Neighbors. And now it's plan C. Hype up the backup quarterback. Let's hype up Drew Lock. Let's just say he's just going to beat out Daniel Jones outright, because Daniel Jones is just that bad and Drew Lock is going to beat him out. This is their last hope for DJ not to be the Giants quarterback in the 2024 season like everybody and their mama predicted. But here's one of the media outlets that's predicted it, or at least saying that it could happen. It's Mr. Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee show. So let's listen to Pat McAfee and let's see what he's talking about.
Daniel Jeremiah, a man who does color commentary for the Chargers and is plugged. We're not only with the NFL Network, but the NFL. He says he thinks Drew Lock can potentially win the starting quarterback job for the New York Football Giants. All
right, here's Greg Rosenthal, another one of those guys on Twitter and in the media outlet. He says, hey, here's at Move the Sticks on Giants. I believe Drew Lock has a really good shot of winning that job. They were comparing Daniel Jones and Drew Lock, emphasis on Drew Lock, to the QBs that were going to be there at 6, and the line for them was Drake May. Who boy? So a lot of people must have been comparing Drew Lock to the QBs that was coming out. So that must be they love Drew Lock over Daniel Jones. Because that's what Joe Shane and Dabo were putting out there. When did they do it? I don't know. Maybe I missed it. But he says, who boy? Drew Lock, the new quarterback of the New York Giants, because Daniel Jones will not step on the field for the New York Giants in 2024. Daniel Jones, no matter who you put around him, will always be below average. He will never be amount to everything. And the Giants' mishaps have been 90% Daniel Jones' fault because he can't lift mediocre receivers. He can't lift the offensive line that's bottom of the league. He can't overcome injuries. He can't overcome scheme mishaps. He can't overcome everything like all your other quarterbacks do. They all play with bad offensive lines. They all play with mediocre receivers, and they just put up stats. That's what they do. That's what a franchise quarterback does. He overcomes everything. He makes everybody better. He makes right tackles and left tackles block. He makes the center block. He makes the guards block. He makes the receivers run better routes. He makes the receivers catch the ball. He makes the tight end catch the ball. He makes the tight end super athletic. He makes the scheme correctly. He just does everything. That's what a franchise quarterback is. Okay.
They were comparing Daniel Jones and Drew Lock, emphasis on Drew Lock, to the QBs that were going to be there at 6. And the line for them was Drake May. So whenever they're talking about taking another quarterback, they're like, wait a second, we got Daniel Jones, obviously, and his eyes are bigger than they've ever been. Yeah. He's seeing more of the earth than he's ever seen before. Maybe it'll help him on the field with those big old eyes. That's a nice fish.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Big in eyes.
Yep.
But that's a nice fish. Daniel Jones had some fish eyes at a press conference that all of us judged him. Then you start looking at his output the last couple of years with how much money he's making. You're thinking to yourself, wait, is he potentially going to be a guy on his way out of New York? They got to be taking quarterback. Then Shefty came on here and said, they're looking for Joe Alt. Maybe the reason why they weren't so high on a quarterback is because Drew Lock came in there and said, call that bitch my bodyguard? Yeah, that's my bodyguard. Talk about some moxie. Guy made some plays for Seattle, has handled the trade from Denver to Seattle, being a backup, having to kind of go about redefining who he is as a person in the NFL. Now he's at the New York Football Giants. Why not Drew Lock?
So now the media is going to hype up Drew Lock. I truly want to know, what in the world does the media and the Twitter sphere have against Daniel Jones? Like, I really want to know what they have against Daniel Jones. Because if you sit here and tell me that a franchise quarterback is just supposed to uplift everybody on the team, and I ask you guys, media personnel as well, what quarterback that is hyped up in the media that is playing with a bottom offensive line and mediocre weapons on top of it, with injuries happen to the decent players that you have, is still putting up major numbers? Patrick Mahomes has Kelsey and has been in Andy Reid's system his entire career and has never had an offensive line that's just absolutely terrible. The worst his offensive line he had was in the actual Super Bowl against the Buccaneers when Tom Brady was there and they got their butts whooped. Throughout his career, he's had McCole Hardman, he's had Tyreek Hill, he's always had Kelsey. Going to go down as arguably the best tight end to ever play the game. When has he had to uplift the whole team full of nothing in his career? Remember, the dude came to a team that made the playoffs the year before. Josh Allen. What was he doing before they got the weapons over there? Gabe Davis, Isaiah McKenzie, Singletary, Diggs, Knox. What was he doing before that? They were calling him a bust. Is the offensive line great? But no, it's not. But it's way better than what we're doing. So he's not doing it. What about Justin Herbert? This fool don't even have a playoff win, and Daniel Jones has one. And he's had Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Joshua Palmer, Gerald Everett, Austin Eckler, a decent offensive line. He's not doing it. He's not uplifting a bottom offensive line and mediocre weapons. He's not doing it. What about Lamar Jackson? Always had one of the best offensive lines in the game. Always had one of the best running games in the league. Always had a good tight end, either Mark Andrews or the guy they just drafted from Coastal Carolina. He's pretty good. Then they just gave him Zay Flowers, and he had Odell Beckham Jr. last year. And they drafted Rashad Bateman in the first round. Hasn't worked out. Not going to count that against Lamar Jackson. That's not his fault. Is he lifting everybody up on that team as far as being bottom offensive line and bottom tier weapons? No. He isn't. What about Trevor Lawrence? He's not doing it either because he has a good offensive line. He has Evan Ingram. They just got him Calvin Ridley. He had Christian Kirk. Well, Calvin Ridley was there. Then he went to the Titans. But he had Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, Trevor Etienne. So he's not doing it. Joe Burrow. Yeah, he had one of the worst offensive lines when they made the Super Bowl. But guess what? He admitted out his own mouth that he was holding the ball too long. And guess what? He has nowhere near bottom tier weapons. He has some of the best weapons in the league. And Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Uzama, Joe Mixon. So he wasn't lifting bottom tier offensive line and bottom tier weapons. Jalen Hurts, best offensive line in football, top weapons in the league. He's not doing it. So why nobody else quarterback in the league has to do what you're asking Daniel Jones to do? Throw for 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns with the 32nd ranked offensive line and bottom tier weapons. C.J. Stroud didn't do it. C.J. Stroud had a good offensive line, and he had Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Noah Brown, Dalton Schultz. He didn't have to do that. But I digress.
Daniel Jeremiah saying there's a chance that's reality.
And the last time we saw him, like Drew Lock was spinning the rock. We were talking about the Eagles game earlier. That was one of the most electric.
And another thing, when the hell did the media start liking Drew Lock? Oh, now Drew Lock's the next best thing because he had one good game against the Eagles. And guess what? Drew Lock didn't have to do it either because he had a decent offensive line. Noah Fant, the receiver from Ohio State they drafted, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. Walker in the backfield. He didn't have to do it either for that game. But now all of a sudden Drew Lock is the next best great thing in New York City. Why is that? Your hatred and vitriol towards Daniel Jones is that great where you will boost the other quarterback that's considered a bust from that draft to replace him. You want to replace Daniel Jones that dang bad that you will hype up Drew Lock to new heights because he had one good game against Philadelphia. That's what it's come to. Because Daniel Jones, his ACL injury is not holding him back. He's cutting, running, throwing, everything. He'll be ready by training camp. So that theory is gone. The theory about us drafting the quarterback high and get rid of Daniel Jones, that theory is gone. So now you result to Drew Lock? That's what it's come to? You want to get rid of him that bad where you will hype up Drew Lock because that's your last leg to stand on from you being wrong again about Daniel Jones. You said he wouldn't get paid. Wrong. You said he would never make the playoffs. Wrong. You said he would never make a playoff game. Wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Mama's wrong again. But here's the next thing that you're going to hype up. Drew Lock, you're the last hope, kid.
scenes, I feel like, of the season last year, because the Seattle Seahawks weren't really playing for anything. The Eagles were, they were in a slump, but it was still the Philadelphia Eagles, and he's throwing dimes to beat them in prime time. Daniel Jones, I don't know if he's been looking over his shoulder with Drew Lock in the.
Why the hell would he look over his shoulder for Drew Lock? Please explain that to me. I've got my money. I've won a playoff game with this team that has been bottom offensive line whole career. I just got a new weapon, and the rookie guy that's been drafted is my number one guy. Continuous people get injured around me. Hell, I'm getting injured now. But I'm worried about Drew Lock, and I've overcame everything. I've had my 5th-year option taken away from me. They said I won't go get paid. I balled out. Won a playoff game, set history in that playoff game, and got paid what all you do said he will never get paid. But now you counting his pockets.
Building, but now he might have to.
Yeah,
for shoot, brother.
Hey, why not? And he was out there with Geno. He could have learned so much from Geno from his story. Remember, had a great start with the Jets, was supposed to start.
So Geno Smith had a great start with the Jets. Don't lie, Pat McAfee. Geno Smith wasn't nothing until he got over there with Pete Carroll. And guess what? It was the first time in his career where he actually had weapons around him and a system around him and an offensive line that was half decent, and he wound up getting some money. But before then, who was Geno Smith? Come on, man.
With the Jets, altercation happens. Then all of a sudden there's a couple character assassination stories that come out about him. He goes to San Diego, backs up Phil Rivers, goes to Seattle, then he gets a job in his job, and
look, you can't even name anything that Geno Smith did. You just rambling on the teams that he had to latch on to just to have a job in the NFL. What did he do in any of those spots before he got with the Seahawks and he had those weapons out there? What did he do? And guess what? He ain't won a playoff game. And he didn't make the playoffs last year with a fully healthy roster. But Daniel Jones has won a playoff game with the roster that he's had around him in his career. Make it make sense.
Takes it.
Yeah, gets a deal.
It's why not Drew Lock? Same thing. Denver's supposed to be guy. Then he gets traded out of there, back up, learn some stuff. As at another home, it's why not Drew Lock go and do it? Hey, Drew, good luck out there against Daniel Jones. Yeah. Daniel Jeremiah.
You see what I'm saying? Good luck against Daniel Jones. They don't even say good luck to try to win a job with the Giants to be a starting quarterback again. They said good luck against Daniel Jones. And you dudes wonder why I'm in that man's corner. Look what he has to go against. He literally has people cheering for another guy to beat him out just to make them right. Go Drew Lock. Yeah, let's go Drew Lock. Yeah, Drew Lock. Let's go win the number one quarterback battle. Yeah. What has Drew Lock done? And I like the kid as a quarterback. I think he has talent. Has a cannon of an arm. But what has he done to get this amount of support? What has he done? See, I like players, pause, that have their backs against the wall. And they don't make excuses. They don't complain. They don't cry to the media. They don't go on Twitter to try to bash people. They don't go anywhere to try to explain themselves. He just gets up and works. Just gets up and works. And he goes out there and does the best that he can what's out there. They took his 5th-year option from him, which they should have. They told him, go out there and play for your job. Go out there and play to try to get you a little bit of money. They went to Saquon Barkley first, and he refused everything that they offered him. But Daniel Jones goes out. We get into the playoffs with Richie James as the top weapon, by the way. Him and Slayton. Sets history against the playoffs against the Minnesota Vikings team. And they say, oh, it was just the Minnesota Vikings. Their defense was ass. But you praise Josh Allen when they put up stats to get them and lost. You praise Justin Herbert that put up less stats than he did against the Vikings and lost. But Daniel Jones could put up more stats than those two guys and win and set history, but it doesn't mean anything. So you take that away from him. And then you say, oh, there's no way they're going to pay Daniel Jones. You can't pay Daniel Jones. And then he gets $160 million over 4 years and $195 million if he hits every incentive after winning a playoff game. So he put that in your face. Then the whole season unravels. Everybody starts to get hurt. The offensive line regresses. Everything regresses, and it's all Daniel Jones' fault. Oh, Jalen Hyatt couldn't get a touchdown this year because Daniel Jones was his quarterback, and Daniel Jones only played 6 games. He had 11 other games to get a touchdown. What happened? Oh, Darren Waller retired because of Daniel Jones was his quarterback. You only played in 6 games. And hell, I think Darren Waller didn't even play a game or two when Daniel Jones was the quarterback. But he had 11 other games to get more than 1 touchdown. What happened? Hell, when Hyatt was playing with him, he wasn't even getting snaps. He was getting like 3 or 4 snaps a game. But it's all Daniel Jones' fault that Hyatt didn't have more catches and more yards and more touchdowns. It's all Daniel Jones' fault. Darren Waller didn't have more catches and more touchdowns. Wan'Dale Robinson was just coming back off of ACL. He wasn't ready to go to about week 4 or 5. By that time, Daniel Jones got hurt. But it's all on. It's his fault. Wan'Dale Robinson didn't go off either. Then you try to bash Daniel Jones. Oh, Slayton will be 1,000-yard receiver if he had a better quarterback. Then Slayton says, hey, I want a little bit more money because I'm averaging 700 yards. And I see guys making 14, 15 million getting the same production as me. So, hey, throw me a bone. Now all of a sudden, Darius Slayton is ass again because he asked for more money, more pocket watching. I thought you just said he'll be 1,000-yard receiver if he had a better quarterback. But now he's not worth the little bit of money that he's asking for. Pocket watching. That's all you dudes do. Bash, pocket watch. Pocket watch, bash. Bash, pocket watch. Listen to the media. No brain. And I'm going to say this. I hope Daniel Jones throws for over 4,000 yards and over 30 touchdowns. And I hope he goes out there and prove you wrong again, stand 10 toes down, and makes a name for himself again when his back is against the wall. Because people seem to forget that he got major comeback victories that 2022 season. People seem to forget that Daniel Jones down the stretch was counted on. People forget that he had the 700 rush yards because he had to run for his damn life half that season. But we gonna see. So everybody, let's go with plan C. The Twitter haters, the media haters, all you DJ haters, all you DJ truthers, or whatever you want to call yourselves. Continue to call people like me DJ apologists. Oh, you just want DJ. You're delusional. Yeah, okay. No, I just want to see what he could do with the offensive line and some weapons. And if he can't do it, guess what? We have offensive line and weapons for the next guy. You see, I'm not going to switch it up and say, oh, the new quarterback should be able to do it without anything, because I'm not that dumb. I know a quarterback needs things to be successful. The quarterback, yes, he's the most important piece, but he's also the most dependent. Because if the offensive line doesn't block, he doesn't have time to go through his progressions. And if the receivers can't get open, he can't throw them the ball. And if they can get open but they can't catch, guess what? It's still incomplete. And if the scheme is messed up, everybody gets their ass whooped. Learn football before you go out here and try to bash somebody. Learn football before you try to say that one man can elevate the whole team. Are you stupid? I keep trying to tell you dudes that a quarterback makes the situation better. He doesn't make receivers run better routes. He doesn't make people catch the ball. He doesn't make offensive linemen block. He doesn't make the running back hit the hole. He doesn't make the running back have good cutbacks. He doesn't make people miss tackles. But what he does do, he facilitates. He makes sure the ball is put in a place where the receiver can make that catch. And when the receiver does get open, he hits that receiver. And he learns his receivers. He can throw back shoulder to the receiver that he can trust to make the play. What do you guys not get about that? A quarterback can't throw back shoulder if the receiver can't catch it. A quarterback can throw as much anticipation if he wants. If that receiver can't get open or if he can't catch the ball, it's incomplete. Or even worse, picked off. Yeah, a quarterback can call out blocking assignments, but he can't make that right tackle or that left tackle block. They have to do that. So you dudes that keep running your mouth and act like the quarterback does everything, you're clueless. And stop talking in absolutes and just watch the damn game. If you don't know what you're talking about. You sound ignorant. But that's all I got to say about this, man. Hey, look. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that big blue join button, and talk your talk with Big Pat Sports Talk. And join the Big Blue crew. Cop you some merch. I'm going to make some merch. Stop talking in absolutes. That's the new merch that's going to come out. Stop talking in absolutes. Because you talking absolutes like you know what you're talking about and you don't know a clue of what's going on. You just want to cheer for somebody in the media that's portrayed as the next great hype. That's what you want to cheer for. Mainly the quarterback position. And they tell you dudes this because they know you're novices and can't understand the whole scheme of things for the game of football. So to keep novices like you interested, they tell you the quarterback does everything. And if you actually look at the actual football game, you would know that the quarterback can't do everything. The quarterback is the facilitator. And they're better facilitators than others. Bottom line. But cop you some merch. Not gonna tell y'all no more. Man, I'm out, man. Thank you guys for watching. And until the next episode, man, you know what it is, man. Peace.
We put the city on game. Hey, team colors, we fill the stands. Yeah. Giant pride like we own the place. No duh. Throwing it deep, we rising. Touchdown fans unite is gratifying. Yeah. Team jersey don't need no bling. Hey. Blue and red flow, it's a Giants thing. Shit so loud like we all sing. G-man on heart like an undying fling. Big blue, yeah. Yeah, yeah.